Hey everyone, how you doing? Nick Griot, Griot's Garage.
Sam Battersby.
Sam is with me.
Socially distanced from Nick.
We are in our big R&D garage, and Sam and I have set up separate cameras so we can both be here with you and answer your questions about what has become a very popular topic during our current situation. So
we missed you guys.
Yeah.
It's been a few weeks.
I know, we were hoping to stay on schedule, but as everybody understands, we're in a circumstance that is kind of ever moving, so we're doing our very best. But if you're here with us, we hope that you're healthy and safe and observing all the guidelines and practicing good hygiene.
Yes.
I think
hygiene is good.
I know. Sam and I were both remarking that, oh my gosh, we've kind of had our day. Hygiene is popular now, so.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody who is a detailer understands that kind of affliction as it relates to just staying clean or wanting to be clean. So we got a lot of sympathizers now, right?
Absolutely. It's a positive thing to think about. And, hygiene is trendy right now, so let's hope it stays that way.
This is a little strange, by the way. We're looking at each other across the room. I mean, you must be about 30 feet away from me right now, and normally he's standing right next to me. So.
Yeah.
We're going to work through this as well. I'm sure everybody's kind of feeling a little bit of it, but again, thank you guys for joining us. We wanted to give you one quick update on just Griot's Garage as well. So we're taking this very seriously as an organization. Usually we have an enormous amount of people in our very large facilities, here in Tacoma. We pretty much are averaging about 3 to 4 people a day. Our store is closed to the public outside of will call. So you can still order products and pick them up in Tacoma, but you're not allowed to browse and shop. Everything is being disinfected and sterilized, so we're taking that very seriously. And we've been adapting pretty much all aspects of our operation. And in fact, about 90% of our entire workforce in Tacoma is working remote at all times. And then some employees, including Sam and myself, have been able to make some time to come in and do testing on some of our products that we're working for, in the long term.
An empty office makes for a very productive testing time. We don't have any interruptions. So.
Yeah, and so just to reiterate for all of you as well, our business in Washington State has been deemed essential, and likewise in Plainfield, Indiana, that has been categorized as essential by their governor, primarily because we support auto retail chains, and quite frankly, whether you want to debate the merits of that, we are just thankful that we're able to operate and continue to work, because I know there are a lot of people that aren't as fortunate. We have friends that are waiters and bartenders that don't have the opportunity to work right now, and I'd say that's very disheartening. So we're just more than anything grateful that we're continuing to operate, and we're hoping to bring some sunshine and some happiness and maybe a distraction into your life today.
Yes, very grateful to be busy in this time for sure.
Yeah.
Makes it a little easier to keep your mind off what's going on out there in the world. And of course, we're only coming into the office when we absolutely need to be here to get things done that we can't do at home.
Yeah, so. We're still trying to limit it to essentials. So a couple other things. You guys had asked about our chemical production and whether or not we would be shifting to make hand sanitizer and other disinfectant products. And short answer is we're taking every necessary action we can to do that. However, currently we do not have the EPA and or FDA approvals to output products that would be licensed with their approval. Again, we're going to be working towards that. However, in the meantime, our chemists still know how to make stuff. So they did make hand sanitizer, a very nice formula for all of our employees and their families. So maybe one day we'll be able to get this out to you, but it's a very nice formula with moisturizer and a nice citrusy scent. So we were able to make it. So it's not a matter of capability, it's a matter of licensing relative to selling it publicly. So we're going to keep pulling on that thread. In the meantime, we're still busy. People are at home. They've got some time to clean their cars. So hopefully you guys will learn something from today.
Yeah, great time for some garage therapy. I know that's one thing that I've been staying busy with at home. I know you spent some time in your garage last weekend.
Yeah, I've had a lot of parts just accumulating in my garage for my old Land Cruiser, and got to put them all on. Found some time to do it. I know my dad has been, so we had a question about is Richard self-quarantining his garage? Essentially, yeah. I mean,
Pretty much.
he's been, if you guys subscribe to our emails, he's been sending out, personal notes, just kind of talking to you all and telling you how he's staying busy. But he reorganized his entire garage, and that's not a small task.
No, not at all.
So,
Getting a few comments about the stickers on my laptop here. I think we could probably send those out if folks want some.
yeah. Yeah, we've got stickers. We usually hand them out in the store, but I think we could probably make some of that happen. But
Yeah, I don't know if you guys want a couple stickers, email us your mailing address at social@griotsgarage.com, and we'll work on getting those out to you guys in the next couple weeks.
Yeah. So let's address the biggest topic we're here to talk about today. We've got a lot of questions from you all. I'm sure we'll continue to get some, but we wanted to speak categorically about interior cleaning and sterilization and disinfection. So, some of you guys are professionals. You may have your own methodologies. For us, selling chemicals, we have certain restrictions in terms of what we can and can't promise. So, first and foremost, everything we're going to talk about is, a recommendation. It is not a guarantee that we are, promising that every piece of bacteria could be removed, sterilized, or disinfected by any of the practices we are suggesting. But ultimately, we have plenty of information and techniques to get you at least going some way towards a cleaner and safer interior in your automobile in particular. So, without further ado, basically, again, the idea that we're all going towards is a disinfected and or bacteria and germ-free space. Now, for a really important part of this is we do not currently sell a product with these characteristics. So if you're asking about what is the best Griot's Garage product, we don't have one. However, we have products that will do the initial part of getting to the disinfectant stage, which is cleaning. So cleaning in and of itself can remove an enormous amount of dirt, grime, and buildup. It may remove some germ and bacteria, but it will not kill all of them. So, but it is an important part, and Sam's going to demonstrate some techniques on the seat we have over here with regards to deep cleaning some of those interior surfaces. Again, that being the initial step that you would take for getting towards a disinfectant step, is a deep clean of your interior surfaces.
Yeah, I think as you talk through that, I think it's important to point out that although deep cleaning may not disinfect your interior, soiling and grime and crumbs and any of that's present in your interior is going to hold on to germs and bacteria more. So the cleaner your interior is, the easier it's going to be to effectively disinfect it.
Yes. So again, it's an important step. Sam is going to demonstrate some techniques, but likewise, we had a couple of questions about the viability of steam and ozone, and we'll address those. But again, cleaning being the initial step, removing excess dirt. You have different materials in your car. We have different products for that. Sam's going to talk about the different products and different materials they're used on in your interior. But following the sequence, cleaning being the first step, protection for yourself is another integral step. In fact, that should probably take place before cleaning.
Yeah.
Now I'm out of sequence, but
great thing to point out, especially if you're cleaning someone else's car other than yours. Face mask, gloves, eye protection, so that if you're knocking debris and stuff, getting close to surfaces, things like that, you're not risking getting bacteria or germs exposed to yourself. And then even if you're doing your own car, who knows what you've brought into your car from going to the grocery store or going into the office, things like that. So protecting yourself, definitely important.
Yeah, so that is the very first step. Gloves, eye protection, any kind of respirator would be ideal. I know that in terms of inhaling, some of the N95 masks and respirators aren't necessarily impervious to any airborne bacteria, but it's a good precaution. Second step would be cleaning. Again, we have different surfaces. We're going to get to the different products for that. And then next would be introducing some form of sanitizer and or disinfectant. Now, again, we do not sell anything that we can make those claims about, but there are many commercially available options out there. In particular, just for example, let's call it a Lysol wipe or a hand sanitizer. Now, I'm not going to go suggest you wipe hand sanitizer all over your interior surfaces. That would not be recommended just due to the alcohol content on there. But just categorically, these are products that are acknowledged as having disinfectant and or sterilization properties. Now, one way to verify that claim is to check the packaging to make sure that they do have EPA approval, so that you know that that has been validated by the EPA, so that you can safely assert that, okay, I am working with a product that can sanitize and or disinfect.
Yeah, and then also checking the material compatibility. I know Lysol, Clorox wipes, a lot of those products will have a breakdown of surfaces that they're compatible with and not compatible with on the back label. So make sure that you're doing your due diligence, reading through those to ensure that you're not inadvertently wiping over something that one of those products could damage. I know we had a comment, talking about not using Clorox wipes on your interior. They are safe on certain surfaces in your interior. You just don't want to go over everything, without any care with one of those wipes, or you could potentially cause some damage.
Yeah, so a really important point. The variety of materials on your interior, you just want to verify that whatever you're using can play there safely. And then likewise, we're going to suggest that you do inconspicuous test areas for things that may be more porous, such as a leather steering wheel or seats. And quite frankly, the reality is that some of those surfaces may not be able to be treated the same, so you may not be able to actually get to a complete disinfection on some of your surfaces with any commercially available product. So you have to keep that in mind. You can do a lot to make that space safer for sure, but there may be some surfaces that you can't disinfect without damaging them. And obviously that's a trade-off I don't really want to make in a lot of automobiles, especially ones that I don't own. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's just a good habit to get into no matter what products you're using.
Yeah.
Interiors have so many surfaces, testing an inconspicuous area, great way to save yourself a lot of headaches.
Yeah. So I have the wonderful fortune to be married to a nurse who has coached me through a lot of the sanitization and disinfectant. And basically, all it really requires is to read labels. And, obviously none of us do that anyway. But if you read the back of a label, say of a Lysol wipe or a Clorox wipe, obviously you're going to have material compatibility, but it'll also give you different levels of treatment for, say, to sanitize something. You are going to reduce the amount of germs present. That's not the same as disinfecting, which would essentially say that I'm killing all the germs present. So there are different processes for that. Again, follow the instructions for sanitization. Sometimes it's as little as 15 seconds, 10 to 15 seconds of dwell time and wiping that product up. That's great if it's something like leather, where if you something that may be very acidic or alcohol rich, and some of these disinfectant products are, that could dry up your leather, cause damage. So that shorter window is ideal, but that's not completely disinfected. Whereas a non-porous surface, such as something that's plastic, maybe you've got a gear shift knob or a vinyl or hard plastic door handle that you're touching a lot, you could use the full disinfectant cure time of 3+ minutes or sometimes up to 10 minutes in order to totally disinfect those places. So again, you're going to have different processes for different materials in your interior, whether it be leather, cloth, hard plastic, vinyl, and then likewise the actual product that you're using and its claims and instructions. So read the instructions is the biggest thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had another comment about wet time or dwell time is essential. That's not only essential with some of these disinfectant products, like Nick pointed out, there's different levels for different variation of disinfecting. Same thing is true to steam cleaners and steam use. You're going to need to maintain a certain temperature for a certain amount of time to effectively disinfect a surface and kill certain types of bacteria. So be sure that you are doing your research and also exercising caution, because sometimes the temperature that is required to disinfect something may be a little too much to safely use on a soft interior plastic or rubber or something like that. So.
Yeah. So in general, I think when you're thinking through your interior, we had a couple people say, is it necessary to disinfect my car if I'm the only person that uses it? Well, I don't know where you're going or what you're interacting with. My presumption is in this environment, you should probably work towards disinfecting those places. But think of the most common places you're touching, right? If you're opening your door, that's obviously the exterior, but you might have the grab handle or the door handle inside. If you've got a manual, your hands are all over that gear shift lever, your steering wheel, any kind of volume or radio controls, and seat belts and seat surfaces. So those are your most common touch points in your car. And depending upon those materials, again, you might have a small subset of areas to treat. Some of them may all be the same material. Some of them may be very different materials. So do test spots, follow the instructions. We had somebody chime in that dwell time is critical. You're correct. Because some of these products do recommend up to 3 minutes of dwell. You have to keep the material wet for 3 minutes or more. That's pretty challenging because some of these products, again, they have a high alcohol content. Alcohol vaporizes very quickly, so you just have to be diligent and follow instructions of whatever product you're using.
Yes, and we did have a question, wouldn't leaving your car in the sun for 48 hours disinfect it? UV, in the proper dose can be an effective way of killing bacteria, but no, leaving your car in the sun for 48 hours will not disinfect it, specifically the interior. So
yeah, and once again, guys, we're not doctors. We're literally we've gone to school as much as we can leading up to this topic to give you some guidance. Again, the biggest things to reiterate are, we don't sell a particular product at this point in time that's going to disinfect. They're going to be the cleaners, which is an important step to getting towards the disinfectant step. You must clean before you introduce a disinfectant process. But really, again, you've got to follow the best known guidelines of the CDC and really trust in some of our most brilliant medical minds in terms of how to keep cleaning. But we are dealing with sensitive surfaces in a car that we know very well. So it's kind of a blend of we've got to adapt to some of these. And maybe we won't be able to completely disinfect every single material on the interior of our car, but we can definitely make it cleaner, if not slightly safer due to that.
Well, and disinfecting a lot of the common touch points. Normally those are going to be safer to use some of these disinfectants and treatments on because the car manufacturers know you're touching your shift knob a lot, you're touching your steering wheel a lot, you're touching your door handles a lot. So they tend to make those surfaces a little more impervious to wear and damage. So, like a wood steering wheel is going to be easier to disinfect than, say, a suede steering wheel or something like that.
Yeah, this is not the time to have a Porsche GT3 RS and be jumping in and out and using a bunch of nasty stuff on your Alcantara, which is everywhere in those cars.
And gloves are another thing to point out. It hasn't come up yet, but that's an easy way. Keep a small box of gloves or a package of gloves. Even pull some gloves out of your garage stash and stuff them in a Ziploc bag. Keep them in your door card. You get done at the grocery store and you're getting in your car, throw a pair of gloves on if you don't have hand sanitizer or something to treat yourself with.
Yeah, what was that one stat we had heard about, like the gas nozzle at a gas station was like 20, 30 times dirtier than a common toilet seat. So just keep in mind those things that you're touching, you're bringing them back into your car. Yeah. So yeah, a pair of gloves, you may look like a weirdo every other point in time, but you're probably going to look like the smartest guy on the planet at this time.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, yeah, call me a germaphobe, but gas pumps are usually one of those things that I try to have as little touch with, regardless of what viruses are floating around.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, has my hair game suffered? Most definitely. It's long as all get out right now. All right, my poor barber. I literally was had a haircut scheduled, and he called me the morning of and said, "We are closed down." And
Yeah.
I was kind of waiting for that to happen, but
I had a reminder appointment pop up for my haircut tomorrow, and I think I'm in the same boat. So
yeah.
might be going back to razor shave. You know,
I know I might. I mean, I
buzzing it.
might do a buzz cut. My hair's gonna grow back, but we'll see. I don't know. You guys can let me know in the comments if you want me to buzz my hair or not. I'll pretty much do it. But yeah, again, we're just happy you guys are here with us. We hope again that your families are safe, that that everybody is staying healthy and following the current guidelines. Again, we feel fortunate that we're able to operate our business, that and provide you guys with the tools to at least relax and enjoy some time in your garage, at your home. We know if you're fans of us, you're probably cleaners. You probably like things organized. So it's a great time to take your mind off the world outside, get in your garage, spend some time on your car. I know I still have a laundry list of automotive projects, let alone my honey-do list that's not getting any shorter. So I've enjoyed some of the time, but we've also been extremely busy. So that always
have a
helps.
few guys commenting on the gloves part of it. Yes, definitely. If you put gloves on before going into a public place, yes, take them off before you get back in the car. And same with if you're going from public space to in your car, put the gloves on when you're in the vehicle, and then dispose of them after you're out of the vehicle. I know I have seen that in various social media outlets and whatnot, people criticizing the folks that are wearing the same pair of gloves all day long. It really defeats the purpose.
Yeah. No, I mean, gloves are hard to find. I know that we've sold out of every single glove we sell. I mean, we generally have always had nitrile gloves in for the purpose of using while detailing. And to say that we had a run on them would be an understatement. But all right, well, I guess I'll buzz my head because a couple people are saying
yeah, we got some coworkers.
I have to check if
joining in.
I mean, the marketing department was fine with my mustache, so I'm sure they'll be fine with a little bit of a haircut. But
place your bets, guys. Place your bets.
So, Sam, do you want to demonstrate some of the kind of cleaning and lathering that we were talking about on the leather surfaces, and maybe talk through some of the products that are ideal for, again, the initial cleaning step?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, for your deep clean, of course, first step in cleaning anything in your interior is always going to be to vacuum. Vacuuming can often be paired with supplemental tools like our silicone brush for pet hair or human hair, whatever it may be. This is a great tool to use to make your vacuuming more effective and speed up the process, make it more efficient. You can also use compressed air. Of course, you want to blow, normally from front to back and then re-vacuum after you've blown out the carpets. But that can be a good way to, remove dust and sand and hair and all sorts of contaminant that will get deep into carpet fibers. Of course, if you're doing that sort of a task in today's environment, I would definitely recommend wearing either a respirator or an N95 mask if you're blowing stuff around the interior. And then, of course, eye protection. Always wear eye protection when you do that, whether it be during a time of virus or pandemic or not. And then once you have all the debris cleaned out, vacuumed up, then you'll come into your cleaning phase and start using your chemicals. So we have a tan leather seat out of a Toyota here behind me. Not very dirty, so don't beat us up too much on cleaning a dirty seat. This is demonstration purposes to show you guys how to safely lather and scrub a seat for a deep cleaning process. Now, a couple different products you can use here on leather. My personal favorite, designed specifically for leather surface, is our scent restoring leather cleaner. Has a great fragrance to it as well, so it leaves your interior smelling nice and fresh afterwards. And this will actually help soften the leather as it cleans, so it it's not conditioning, but it creates a suppleness that a lot of other cleaners won't. And this is designed specifically for leather. So over long-term use, you can be 100% confident this isn't going to break down or damage your leather over time. Very capable cleaner though. So a couple different ways I like to use this one, either with our horsehair interior brush or with our microfiber cleaning pads. Both great options. Normally your brush is going to handle a heavier soiled surface though, so you can base that somewhat on how filthy the seat is. We'll go ahead here and I'm going to spray directly onto my brush. And now you want to be careful when you spray surfaces directly onto a seat. You know, we've spot tested on this seat already, so I know that spraying the leather cleaner directly on isn't going to damage it or cause any spotting. Again, that's something you always want to spot test really anytime you're cleaning leather with any product, whether it be intended for leather or not. It's good to spot clean. Sometimes leather seats may have been repaired and you aren't aware of it if it's a used vehicle or something like that. So spot cleaning will just ensure that you don't have any surprises. But we can come in, I'm going to start at the top. We're going to spray directly on. You know, again, if you're doing this, obviously this seat's out of the interior. If you're doing this in the interior, you're going to want to avoid overspray on windows and adjacent surfaces. So don't go too wild with your spray. Come in with my brush and we're just going to start agitating. I'm going to get rid of some of the runs at the bottom there, and then we'll just keep on scrubbing through.
Yeah, somebody suggested I shave my head during the live stream. I'm going to have to wait till things are a little bit back to normal before I can do that.
Yeah, we can't social distance.
Right.
I guess I could put some shavers on like a pole and do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure I don't want to do that. I've had some experiences in my life when my buddies we'd shave each other's heads in college, and the guard fell off one time, and I shaved like a pretty enormous line through my buddy's head. He was not that happy about that, but
I did that to myself one time.
yeah, I used to be able to do it myself, so maybe I'll do it.
Well, no, I mean, I was shaving my own head one time, not big shaving, but with clippers. I used to cut my own hair when I was in college and stuff, and I set it down. I took the guard off to do my ears and then set the clippers down, and then noticed like a spot in front that needed trimmed with the guard. Not looking at the clippers, I just grabbed them and took out a nice chunk right out of the front. And
oh, that's right on the front of your head too. At least for my buddy, it was like on the back, you know, kind of like, I don't know, you could wear a hoodie.
I had to shave it no guard, and then I wore beanies for like the next 2 weeks till it grew back out.
Yeah. All right, so again, Sam kind of demonstrated a deep clean on leather in particular. Now, if you've got cloth seats, you're going to follow a different process and use a different product, but similar concept, right? We're trying to clean the surfaces of any dirt and grime that is built up on top of them.
Yeah, and you can go even more thorough than that. You know, this seat isn't super dirty, so I don't want to stand here for 5 minutes scrubbing it, but you'll be very surprised, especially if you've never done a deep clean on your leather before and the car's, you know, a few years old. You'll be pretty surprised at the before and after when you spend that time and really get after it and scrub. Yeah, it's a great way to go.
All right, guys, do you have any more questions for us? We've got a couple ones that I thought were just, you know, kind of funny, but Keno Vakowski says, if I'm out cleaning the interior of our cars, is that considered self-distancing? My wife doesn't agree. I think it is.
100%, man. Yeah, I mean, get out in the garage.
Yeah, that's good enough distance, right? And again, the caveat for cleaning cars, if your wife is upset with you for cleaning your car, clean her car. It's the fairest deal, for sure.
But Sean asked a couple good questions. Is there a spray to applicator, then apply to surface solution? 100% yes. You know, you can soak your brush pretty good so that you aren't having to worry about overspray, and then just reapply to the brush as you go. You know, I wouldn't hesitate. These bristles will hold quite a bit of liquid. I mean, you can see there it's not dripping yet, so I'm still going to be able. That was like 12 sprays. I'm still going to be able to take that to the surface and create a nice lather. And then the microfiber cleaning pads, these have a sponge inside that's wrapped in microfiber, so these will hold a lot of liquid as well. So that's a great option to soak and then go to your seats. Sometimes you will get a little better cleaning ability if you spray directly on, because you get the cleaner that's going to begin to emulsify and loosen up the dirt before you start to scrub. But either way are great options. And no, you don't need to be careful of getting this spray into leather perforations. You know, when perforations get wet, sometimes they will look inconsistent, but as soon as they dry, you should get that consistent appearance back. Now, products like our leather 3-in-1 lotion or our leather care lotion or leather rejuvenator, those you're going to want to be a little cautious on perforated seats. Don't over apply, because then you'll fill your perforations and you'll have to come back with a swab or compressed air to clean them all back out. Normally what I like to do when I'm working with a lotion on perforated seats, I like using either a microfiber cleaning pad or like a blue sponge. I'll apply it here. Let's see. Rookie move. Didn't pull the
while you're doing that, we did have a question about our shipping times. I don't anticipate any delay, but we are doing phased shifts in our Indianapolis facility. That's part of our social distancing measures that we're taking in order to continue operations. So we have been shipping on time, but just be wary. We are operating with kind of half of our crew at one time, half of our crew another time, just to, again, increase distancing. So I don't perceive or know of any delays at this point, but just that's a good question. We are still shipping, yes, so we are still open, and we're very thankful to that, to be open.
All right, give you guys a quick demonstration here for what I like to do with perforations. So I'll apply my lotion to my sponge or my applicator, and then I like to come in, you know, you can either rub it in by hand or come in. Oftentimes your bolsters aren't perforated, so apply it over the bolster, get it thinned out in your pad, and then with light pressure go over the center perforated sections, and that will avoid clogging up those perforations. So that's a good way to go.
Yeah. So we did have a question about Surface Prep Cleanser. Again, we introduced this product. We ran into kind of a regulatory snag, and we've been working on some reformulations. Primarily, the concern for us is we want to have as effective of a product as possible. I will say we've had some breakthroughs, so I'm presuming it will launch later this year. So Surface Prep Cleanser, again, kind of a panel wiping product that you would use before applying a wax, sealant, or ceramic coating. We had intended to launch that early 2020, and again, kind of hit a regulatory snag. So we paused on that so that we could reformulate something that was safe and output that to you responsibly.
Several questions about headliner cleaning. That is a tough subject. Headliner is often one of the more delicate surfaces in the interior. I would never advise spraying anything directly onto a headliner. Oftentimes that will cause the adhesive to break down, and then you get a saggy headliner. So that's going to cause some issues for you there. So normally with headliners, you're going to want a least invasive method first. I like to start out sometimes with just a damp, warm, damp microfiber and attempt to blot at the stain or residue with that. If that's not effective, you can employ light agitations, but you don't want to scrub a headliner hard, or you'll often pull the pile out of the material, specifically if it's an older headliner.
And you can cause separation too. Some of it is a very thin fabric on a foam backing that you can actually press if you feel that texture, but you could separate the adhesive like you suggested. So approach with caution. I know my most famous headliner job was a Mini Cooper, and this gentleman had his daughter and a friend in the back seat, went over a speed bump, and the red liquid that his daughter had in her cup, she squeezed the cup, boom, all over the entire white headliner. And how I approached that was exactly as you described. I actually had a horsehair, like almost a toothbrush size horsehair, and I just very lightly, almost no pressure, just trying to get the surface. And in fact, that's all it needed, right? It wasn't extremely dense stain that had been rubbed in like tracking mud into carpet, right? It was just on the surface of it. So approach with caution.
Yeah, and
sure.
hopefully your headliner is not getting filthy. I mean, normally it'll stay pretty clean unless you're getting big spills and things in the interior. But again, just least invasive method necessary. Spot check anything. Do not spray anything directly onto the headliner. Always spray it to a towel or applicator first and go from there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, again, I don't think we can say this enough. We're very happy to have you with us. We hope that you are safe and healthy, and that you're enduring this time of a lot of uncertainty. Again, we feel very fortunate to be here talking with you all.
Yeah, it's great to be back with you guys. So
yeah, and we kind of paused last week so we could figure out how to do this the right way, and be responsible, keep the distance between us. But yeah, again, we feel very fortunate as a business to be operating. So
yeah, and I think again important to emphasize that we are taking extreme precautions in whatever way that we can to keep not only our employees safe, but the rest of the general public as safe and healthy as possible.
Everybody wants to know what other ceramic goodies we're working on.
Nah.
Well, that's a secret, so you're gonna have to wait. But yeah, Sam and I, we're part of the product development team, and our projects are these long-term projects, and so they never really slow down, and there's always something to be done with the multitude of projects we have. So luckily we have this enormous, about 6,000 square foot R&D garage where we can set up a test, somebody can come in and do it, and that person can leave, and we can come back and double that test and verify it. So we've been able to be productive in our chemical development while we've had this kind of challenge of access to our facility. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
What's the difference between detailer and cleaner?
I was just going to read that one.
Okay, go for it.
Great question. I'm sure you piggyback on this at all. I know interior detailer is one of your personal favorites.
Yeah.
These are both. I mean, interior cleaner I think was my all-time favorite product of ours for quite a while. Very versatile. Both of them are very versatile. But the biggest difference, interior detailer is going to be truly safe for virtually all surfaces on your interior. You can be non-discriminate in what you spray that on. It's safe on glass. It's safe on vinyl, plastic, NAB screens, touch screens, instrument clusters, leather, virtually everything. So that's a product that you can really wipe down your entire interior with. Think of it as like speed shine for your interior, whereas interior cleaner is going to be a deeper cleaning product. That's a surfactant-based cleaner that's going to attack a heavier level of soiling. I would say you're going to use interior cleaner, say, once a month or every other month, and then you're going to use interior detailer like at your weekly or bi-weekly cleaning regimen. It's just a quick wipe down, remove dust, add some UV protection. Neither of them leave any appearance enhancing behind. Interior detailer, although it leaves UV protection behind, it's not changing the appearance of the surface, so it looks very original and OEM. And then interior cleaner obviously leaves nothing behind. No UV protection, it's strictly a cleaner. Interior cleaner is also safe for many surfaces, including cloth upholstery, carpet, vinyl, plastic, leather. Just don't use it on your glass and clear plastics. No NAB screens, those are the main ones to avoid with interior cleaner, whereas detailer can really be used on virtually everything. Interior detailer also has an anti-static effect that'll reduce static cling on interior surfaces that normally that can be an issue on, like soft touch materials, dash materials, things like that.
Yeah, couple things. So new G15, G21, we are expecting inventory of those, I think by the end of this month. So keep your fingers crossed, but we're really excited about those tools. You can bet that when we get the opportunity to do a full deep dive into them, we will, including demonstration, and we'll probably keep this distance because it seems to be working as much as I want to be standing right next to you and not looking across the entire room. But we're really excited about those tools. Let's see. Ultimate Microfiber Kit, that was a new product for spring. Mr. Greif, we heard you. We had the opportunity to assemble really what was our best selection of microfibers. So that kit is out there. You save a bunch of money doing that. We do offer a steam cleaner. It's very effective. I removed the vinyl wrap from my M3 with it by heating up the vinyl wrap and pulling it, and I put that thing to use. So we have a very nice steam cleaner that you can use.
I'll shoot out a link to it in the comments.
Yeah. The interior detailer is safe on NAB Screens, Paul, so you can use it there. We just ask that you avoid the interior cleaner on NAB Screens, where again, Sam just explained the difference, the more lubricant base versus detergent or surfactant base. That detailer was pretty much, imagined with NAB screens and sensitive plastic areas such as your gauge cluster in mind. You don't want to put a lot of pressure, but you do need to remove smudges, fingerprints, and dust. So let's see, interior scents. We do have some interior scents in the queue, so you'll see those soon. What else are you guys thinking about?
These guys are going to hold Richard accountable on the barbecue sauce.
I know. I don't think we're going to be able to escape the barbecue sauce. So
that's coming up a lot. It is grilling season.
I know. Gosh, I looked at a bottle of it in his office the other day, and I just had this terrible flashback of this summer where literally everything that he made had that damn barbecue sauce on it, and it was so bad. Such bad barbecue sauce. We're going to advocate for better barbecue sauce if we bring you something.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Let's see. There was one other guy. We had a really nice question. I think it was probably, what has been your favorite, what's the most positive thing that has come out of your kind of time at home?
Yeah, I saw that one.
I
don't know, just learning to be super flexible. Having a 2-year-old and a 6-year-old at home has presented its challenges with working at home. They would wake up and are ready to go, and it's kind of like, Dad, why are you going into work today? You've been home all this time. And gotta keep paying the bills, kids. But just staying.
Well, and they're not in school either.
They're not, yeah. So they're it's an infinite weekend. We're trying to keep them busy with school activities, or at least Owen with school activities, and giving them some structure to their day. But yeah, it's made me have to be very flexible and just willing to roll with the punches. And if I got to spend time with them more in the mornings, it means I'm spending a little more time on the laptop at night when they're in bed and spending more time with them. It can be a little stressful sometimes. I got to tell them no or push them off to go get work done. But I'm there, they're there. I think they really seem to understand and appreciate that. And
I think
just quality family time through all this as much as possible.
I think that's exactly how I feel. Again, I've gotten some projects done that had been kind of, around, but I'm still trying to balance how busy this has been, not just from the work that needs to get done, but just adapting our business to the ever-changing circumstance and having to make tough decisions and manage differently, right?
Yeah.
We're doing things through Zoom video conference. There is this kind of ambiguity of not being in the building. So that's all been stressful. But at the same time, again, I got a little guy at home, and my wife is, loves to have the help. So I've stayed in a routine by getting up with him in the morning, and we kind of have this little hour-long regimen where we go around the house and he shows me all these different toys that he's forgotten about from the day before. But I'm like, okay, I can see where this is going. We want to go this place next. So awesome. I've really appreciated that. And then really, I think I've actually connected with more people. It's forced me to reach out to some friends, and I have had to make some tough decisions. I didn't get to go to a wedding over in Atlanta, one of my best friends, just because there was too much up in the air, and we made that decision. It was uncomfortable, and I wanted to go to this fun wedding, but it was really bad. But at the end, I got to talk closer to my friend about it afterwards, and he obviously understood. But so I've been able to kind of reconnect with some people, and a lot of Zoom video conferencing.
Yeah.
Way too much.
It's been really cool too to see just how willing all of our coworkers have been to embrace the situation and keep the pedal down and keep getting work done. I know I definitely shout out to all you guys that are watching. We're definitely keeping the pedal down. It's awesome just to see all the hard work that's still being done from home and from remote to keep everything moving and keep you guys getting the stuff you need.
Yeah. So John, I think John Garza, you submitted that question. We're going to send you an ultimate interior kit for that question. So Stevie is still monitoring this in the background. She's not at the office, but she'll make sure that, John, you get a kit. But you did ask a follow-up question about if somebody prefers to wipe their interior down with soap and water, is there a detergent or brand that we could recommend? Now, I don't know of any household cleaner. I think a couple people were floating Dawn. I like to avoid Dawn like the plague, unless I'm cleaning dirty, oily dishes for anything automotive related, because it is such an aggressive detergent. But I don't know off the top of my head if it advertises any sanitizing or disinfectant capabilities. If that is the case, again, I would follow their recommended practices. Now, knowing that that is, again, an aggressive soap, one thing we didn't cover, Sam, with all of this is the likely timeline or process is protect yourself, clean the surfaces, primarily the ones that are the highest touch point. If you're going to sanitize or disinfect, utilize a product that advertises those benefits and follow the direction as they are stated. And then I would recommend, and this is what we didn't mention before, reapplying some type of dressing and or moisturizing treatment to them, because a lot of those products are going to be alcohol-based, things that will dry, natural hides such as leathers. And if you don't replenish or moisturize those things after disinfecting, well, then you can probably, you could mitigate some damage, some potential damage by moisturizing and following with a dressing.
Absolutely, especially if you're wiping stuff down like once a day or even more than that, things are going to dry out quickly. So ensure that you're using products like Leather 3-in-1. You know, the wipes make it really easy, quick pass over all those surfaces to add some moisture and some protection back into them. Leather care spray, vinyl and rubber dressing. Those are all going to be good options for treating those surfaces after you've disinfected them.
Does interior detailer provide moisture to vinyl? No, it's not really going to. It's a super thin formula, so it's not going to moisturize or enrich. If you're looking for that, vinyl and rubber dressing is that. It's a nice, it's slightly satin, but it's not high gloss like some other heavy silicone products are. And it does have a UV protectant. So if you're looking to enrich and moisturize vinyl and rubber dressing would be the product.
Absolutely.
We had a question. What's a good one-step product for a newbie with a machine? Want to take that?
I mean, really all of ours are pretty phenomenal. I guess depends kind of what you're up against, but you can't go wrong with one-step sealant or our liquid wax 3-in-1.
Yeah, and we've described those before. Those are our all-in-one products. Our finishing sealant, liquid wax 3-in-1, and one-step sealant. The difference is finishing sealant developed for long throws, which if you have a 6-inch machine from us, that's not a long throw. But it's going to be a polymer sealant combined with Montan wax. One-step sealant, polymer sealant, so great for daily driver. Extended durability based upon the synthetic nature of that sealant. And then liquid wax 3-in-1, great. Your protective step is carnauba wax. Great finish, not going to be as durable as the sealants.
Yep, absolutely. Great recommendation.
All right. And low G, we do have an iron remover. It's called Iron and Fallout Remover. It's exceptional. It works great when applied via our foam cannon as well. So I think I did see somebody chime in on that already. But yeah, that's a wonderful product.
Yeah, JT too. Yes, wax is traditionally for gloss sealant, more for protection. Keep in mind though that our waxes do have quite durable protection built into them, so they will get you closer to what you're used to with a sealant or a synthetic.
Let's see. Mike Wilson said he did his entire 38-foot RV. Man, that's a great project to tackle when you're at home.
Absolutely. And yes, the foam cannon is definitely the way to get that done.
Yeah.
100%. If you haven't tried foaming polygloss yet, make sure you pick some of that up and hit your RV with that next time you wash it. It'll make subsequent washes and maintenance that much easier for you.
Yeah, we're not giving away any toilet paper. Let's see, any plans for disinfectant? Like we mentioned initially, we made hand sanitizer for all of our employees. We cannot sell that because we lack the proper accreditation for that. However, we are looking into that right now actively. We have made some progress. We're not at zero. We are moving towards that. So look, we are a chemical manufacturer. We are able to make these types of products. Obviously, the times are kind of dictating that we consider that more heavily, and we're looking into it. So our goal is to introduce some products like that. I don't think this is the last time in the history of the world that it's going to be smart to disinfect your interior surfaces. So trust us when we say we're going to be working towards that solution. In fact, we already are.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, keep in mind that if you do choose to use soap as an attempt to clean or disinfect surfaces, not all soaps have disinfecting ability. Even if you're using them for 20 seconds, they are supposed to be a soap that contains disinfectant. So make sure that the product you're using does have that rating. Standard Dawn, like discussed earlier, Dawn, your Pall Mall of your standard dish soaps are not going to have disinfecting ability. And part of that washing guideline that you're seeing from the CDC, wash your hands for 20 seconds, that also incorporates warm or hot water. As hot as your hands can withstand really is going to be most effective at killing bacteria. So please do not expect standard soap and water to disinfect your interior.
Yeah.
And then take caution using heavy soaps on interior surfaces as well. Normally those soaps they're supposed to be rinsed. So if you're leaving a soapy residue behind that's not being completely rinsed or wiped off, you could run into issues from that as well.
Yeah, again, you want to. That's why, at least in our perspective, we've formulated our products for use on automotive interiors and materials, whereas Dawn dish soap is not designed for that at all. Again, you got to do what your customers want, but we can't make those promises. If you're using a product that makes those promises, again, be sure to follow the instructions and be sure, again, to moisturize. I don't know if you guys are feeling the same thing, but I've been using so much hand soap and disinfectant that my hands are just absolutely thrashed and drier than they've ever been. So think of your interior natural leathers, those surfaces. If you're treating them with an aggressive disinfectant procedure, be sure to moisturize them, give them something back so that they remain pliable.
Yeah, I had to pull out some O'Keeffe's for my hands the other day.
Yeah, and detail enthusiasts, yes, iron and fallout remover works great in our foam cannon,
buddy.
a foam cannon. Our Boss foam cannon has the metering tip so you can draw the exact dilution ratio out of it, so you don't have to mix it in a reservoir and dilute it further. It can just be straight concentrate onto your paint, and it's fantastic. So definitely would recommend that if you've never tried it.
100%.
Yeah.
See, no, don't use your toilet paper to dry your car, even if you have a lot of it.
Yeah, it seems like that's pretty much a commodity right now.
Yeah, you apparently never TP'd a house before because wet toilet paper is very difficult to clean up.
Yeah. With the rinsing versus iron removal, I would say that you're gonna want a clean car. Now, I'm gonna defer to you if it would. It definitely doesn't benefit to apply foam to a wet car.
What are we?
Foaming on iron and fallout remover.
Oh, yeah. I mean, normally, do keep in mind when you are dispensing iron and fallout remover through the foam cannon, it is being diluted with water as it goes through that cannon. So it's not going to be quite as strong as full strength sprayed right out of the bottle. So again, if you have very heavy contamination, heavy iron deposits, I would recommend at least pre-treating with it directly out of the bottle and then foam the whole car with it. That's a great way to go. But yeah, I mean, if you're foaming it on wet, you're not going to get as much dwell time, and it's going to be slightly diluted again with the water that's on the surface. So just keep that in mind. Normally, iron and fallout remover, you want to let it dwell 3 to 5 minutes. So if the car is very wet, it's going to run off faster than that, and you're not going to get as effective of a decontamination ability out of that. So I would normally recommend doing it dry, but that depends on where you're using it in the process to whether or not you want to dry the car twice potentially.
Yeah, obviously mechanical drying, you have 2 chances for towel scratching. So it's really, in my mind, I would use the liquid. If we're going to do that process, I'd use that product and avoid drying twice.
Yeah, and one thing you can do too, if you need the strength of the full strength out of the bottle, but you also want to get the whole car, you can treat the trouble spots like your rocker panels, the rear of the vehicle, with the full strength out of the bottle, and then come in and foam the entire vehicle to get the rest cleaned off there. So
yeah. Well, guys, I think we're probably going to wrap up just in terms of trying to limit our time here at the facility. Once again, if you're just joining us or you didn't hear it before, we've been operating under some pretty strict conditions, and we're trying to honor that. Sam and I are on opposite ends of our enormous R&D garage, and Matt, our videographer, is pretty much triangulated about as far away from us as possible. So we were just really, really overjoyed to figure out a way to make this work, and we know that if you're joining us, we really appreciate that. And please, please, please stay healthy, and we will get through this.
Yeah, stay home, guys.
Yeah.
I know you're seeing that everywhere, but if you don't need to go out, don't go out.
Yeah, we'll be here when this is all over. So just let's all take the lumps in terms of the sacrifice we've got to make to keep our fellow neighbors healthy, and everyone we love healthy as well. But Griot's Garage is going to be here, and we're still going to have some fun. And in the interim, while you're at home, enjoy your downtime and have fun in your garage.
Yeah, can't wait till it's over. I'm ready for road trip.
Yeah, I know. It's getting nice around here.
Have fun in your garage.
See y'all later, guys.